Let's focus in on the pharma sector in great detail. And do remember, you have Warren Buffett, who has been betting big on the pharma sector. So we want to delve into the Indian pharma sector as well and talk about whether or not it can emerge as the pharma factory and is on the path to growth. Joining in for this discussion, we've got Dr. Gurudatta GG. He's the Director and CEO at Estima Pharma Solutions. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. Just in light of the recent investments that we've seen by legendary investor Warren Buffett in the pharma space, you've had 4 sizable investments within this sector in the last quarter itself. India too is a manufacturing hub for the pharma sector. Do you think that there is strong potential for Indian pharma to shine and Indian pharmaceutical companies as well to lead the way?
Yeah, definitely. There will be a big potential for Indian pharma companies to get in or attract the bigger investors like Warren Buffett. I hope everyone knows by this time that he has invested about 5.7 billion US dollars in 4 big pharma companies in US. In the same way, whenever we talk about Indian pharma companies, if you take an example of API manufacturing, which is a great potential for attracting investments from outside India, as well as biotechnology and the complex generics, there is a good potential, and India can be a hub for all these things in future days to come.
Okay, so sounding quite promising, but a lot of companies, a lot of investors are betting on are diversifying from the traditional business that they had. Some in Derma, Oncology, others API. Do you think that Indian firms have that advantage of wider knowledge across all fields, a diversification across all of these specialized spaces?
Yes, definitely. India has got advantage over other countries with respect to various other fields also. If you take an example of Derma, we don't have that many manufacturing companies at this moment of time. However, we have expertise. Only thing is we need to set up the Derma manufacturing with respect to US FDA standards as well as European GMP standards, and we can get the lot of Derma manufacturing orders also, and as well as injectable facilities. Even though we have some injectable facilities already running around, and even there is a still bigger requirement for the injectable requirement world over, and we can get those particular things also as a bigger sector where India can work on more injectable products. As well as when you come to the complex generics, as well as the API manufacturing, many people are thinking of developing an alternative source for the API manufacturing, and India will be the prime hub for the API manufacturing as well.
Okay. The trend that we've seen in the second quarter earnings, Mr. Gurudatta, the fact that there are cost savings that the entire industry has seen across the board, do you think that's going to continue in the next few quarters as well?
Exactly. We cannot say that the cost saving is going to continue for next further quarters also. However, we can definitely say that the EBITDA which is achieved in the first quarter as well as the second quarter, if you see the EBITDA which of the major pharma companies in India, it was ranging between about 25% to 26%, which is really good. And this can definitely continue with respect to the profitability as concerned. Cost saving can definitely continue for certain period, but exactly we cannot say that how long it can continue.
Sure. Given that India accounts for 40% of the world pharma manufacturing, you think it's inevitable that whenever the vaccine comes, whichever global company does get the vaccine right, some part of it will be manufactured in India?
Definitely, yes. India, as you said rightly, that 40% of the generics is being supplied by India to other countries. Even vaccine technology or even vaccine manufacturing also, at this moment of time to the developing countries, India is supplying about 60% of the vaccine requirements to the other countries already. If you take the example, the big vaccine manufacturers in India, the Serum Institute, Biological E Limited, or Bharat Biotech, or even Zydus Cadila, these are all already geared up to start the manufacturing of the vaccines. You must have heard already from various sources that the Serum Institute is going to manufacture about 1 billion doses of the COVID-19 vaccine itself in 2021, as well as even biological events also is planning to produce about same 1 billion of doses for the COVID-19 vaccine itself. But we have other manufacturing companies also which we can already tied up or signed up with respect to the technology, and they are also developing in India as well with respect to the COVID-19 manufacturing. But however, the requirement is such a huge that in order to cover everyone in the world with respect to the COVID-19, it may take 3 to 4 years or even 5 years so that everyone can be covered in the COVID-19, because that is a huge requirement. But capacity at this moment of time worldwide is not that much. It may take years to go.
All right, Mr. Gurudatta, thanks so much for joining us and sharing that with us this morning.